The same people who laughed when you broke are now breaking because you healed. That line hits them harder than any comeback you ever said, because it's the truth they tried to outrun. Life is tearing them up inside, and every crack in their world is a reminder that their little get-back plan failed, while yours is happening naturally. Think about it like this. When someone stomps on a seed, they think it's dead. They don't realize pressure only helps it grow deeper roots. And here's a fact they hate more than anything. The universe always sends people back the energy they throw at others, and they threw a storm at you. The person who spent all their time trying to tear you down is now getting torn up by their own actions. It's not magic, it's not mystery, it's what happens when you mess with the wrong soul. They pushed, the universe pushed back, and now they're struggling to hold themselves together while you walk out of the fire they set. And thank you, chosen one, for being here. Don't forget to pay this message back by simply pressing the like and subscribe to help spread this message to more souls. It's on all of us to let this light reach the ones who need it. Thank you for being part of this mission. You are part of a force. Now, let's get back to the truth you came for. Life is tearing this person up because your comeback wasn't loud, messy, or dramatic. It was quiet, calm, controlled, and nothing shakes an enemy faster than realizing you didn't fight them, you outgrew them. They expected you to collapse when they betrayed you. They wanted you to chase them, argue with them, defend yourself, or crumble under the weight of their lies. But you did the one thing they never imagined. You went silent and you healed. Your silence was a mirror, and they couldn't stand what it reflected. This is why they're coming undone now. They tried to control the narrative, but your growth destroyed the story they wrote about you. They painted you weak, but life exposed them. They called you replaceable, but life showed how wrong they were. They tried to bury your reputation, but life revealed their jealousy. And now, that same life is tearing them apart while lifting you higher. The universe has a funny way of balancing things. When someone tries to ruin a chosen one, the universe doesn't just protect them. It studies the situation, waits, and then flips the whole script. That's exactly what's happening right now. The same person who mocked your pain is dealing with pain they can't hide. The same person who said you were too emotional can't even control their own emotions. The same person who thought you were easy to forget is now haunted by the fact that you didn't break the way they wanted. What's destroying them isn't random. It's the pressure of watching you rise while they fall apart. They hate that you're not the wounded version of yourself they used to play with. They hate that you're not giving them a reaction. They hate that their own life is exposing their mistakes louder than you ever could. You were supposed to be the one struggling. That was their plan. They pushed buttons, spread lies, played games, and tried to make you doubt your worth. But the universe has a way of flipping the energy right back onto the person who sends it. And that's why their world feels so heavy. That's why nothing is working for them. That's why their peace is gone. They threw dirt at you, but now they're choking on the dust cloud they created. Here's something they never considered. Chosen ones don't get destroyed. They get redirected. Every time they tried to block your blessings, the universe built a new route. Every time they tried to slow you down, the universe gave you more strength. Every time they underestimated you, the universe sharpened you. Meanwhile, they stayed the same. Same ego, same habits, same darkness. And now life is making them face the version of themselves they tried to hide. Their guilt is heavy, but their fear is heavier. Fear of being exposed, fear of being forgotten, fear of losing control, fear of you becoming everything they swore you'd never be. And honestly, they should be scared. Because you didn't just bounce back, you came back stronger, smarter, calmer, and more focused than ever. Nothing scares an enemy more than a chosen one who finally knows their worth. They're falling apart because you didn't fall apart. They're losing themselves because you found yourself. They're breaking because you stopped breaking. And the universe is showing everyone the truth they tried to bury. You were never the problem. They were the storm. You were the survivor. They were the chaos. You were the clarity. They were the test. You were the lesson. So let them fall apart. Let life deal with them. Let the universe handle the get back. You are rising while they're unraveling, and that's exactly how it's supposed to be. Life is tearing them up because they tried to tear down someone the universe had already marked for better things. They messed with the wrong one and chosen one. Seriously, thank you for being here. You're not just watching a video, you're standing inside a moment that's already shifting your path. Stay close, because we're about to break this down piece by piece, and missing what comes next would be like walking away right before the truth lands on your doorstep. If you're really ready to own your comeback and watch how life is tearing this person up because they couldn't handle your growth, drop a 777 in the comments so this message reaches others who need it. And if you want to support the team behind this message, hit that super thanks. It fuels the mission, keeps the truth flowing, and pushes this light to more chosen ones all over the place. Doesn't matter if it's 1 cent or a whole bag. Every bit keeps this movement alive. And now, let's dive into this step by step. If you're really a chosen one, you'll feel that pull to stay until the very end, because the real punch hasn't even landed yet. Let's get into it. Number 1, the obsession that ate them alive. The same person who tried to bury your name is now suffocating under your growth. That line hits them right in the chest, and they deserve every bit of that sting. They wanted you broken, unseen, forgotten. Instead, their entire world is falling apart because they turned you into their obsession. Life is tearing them up, not because you fought back, but because the universe flipped their own energy onto them. They can't handle the get back they created. Think about it like this. When someone stares at the sun too long, they go blind. That's what happened to them. They stared at your light so hard, for so long, with so much jealousy, that they destroyed their own vision. They stopped seeing their life, their goals, their path. All they saw was you. And here's the wild fact they'll never admit. They built their identity around trying to destroy yours. While you were growing, they were shrinking. While you were healing, they were hurting. They wasted their time studying you like a full-time job, while you were somewhere minding your peace, fixing your heart, rebuilding your life. They turned your name into a ritual, repeating it in conversations, group chats, gossip circles, hoping someone, anyone, would help them tear you down. Instead, everyone watched them unravel. And chosen one, I know you ask yourself sometimes, why were they so obsessed? Why did they hate me that much? The answer is simple. You triggered every insecurity they buried. Your confidence exposed their weakness. Your kindness exposed their cruelty. Your growth exposed their laziness. Your silence exposed their noise. You were a walking reminder of everything they didn't want to face within themselves. That's why they talked so much. That's why they plotted. That's why they spread rumors. Their ego couldn't handle who you were becoming. They needed to feel above you because deep down they knew they weren't even close. They saw your potential before you did, and instead of being inspired, they panicked. Some people don't hate you because you hurt them. They hate you because you outshine the version of themselves they pretend to be. You were never the villain in their story. They were the villain in yours. They attacked you because they thought you were an easy target. They thought your kindness was a weakness they could exploit. They thought your quiet nature meant they could get away with their schemes without consequences. But they forgot one little thing. Life is not blind. The universe is not stupid. Energy tracks people down like a GPS. And now life is tearing them up because the obsession backfired. Their lies became their reputation. Their jealousy became their downfall. Their attempts to destroy you became the very thing destroying them. It's funny how people try to dim your light, only to set their own life on fire. They dug a hole for you, and now they're the ones trapped in it. They thought gossip was a weapon, but gossip doesn't age well. It turns on the person who spreads it. Now they walk into rooms full of people who remember every nasty thing they said about you, and those same people are watching your success blow up right in their face. Nothing humiliates an enemy more than realizing the person they tried to ruin is the one everyone respects. And here's what really burns them. The get back wasn't messy. It wasn't violent. It wasn't dramatic. It was the universe doing exactly what the universe does. Quiet, precise, undeniable. You didn't have to clap back. You didn't need revenge. Your growth was the revenge. Your elevation was the closure. Your glow was the proof. And your silence was the loudest message you ever sent. You didn't argue. You didn't beg. You didn't try to clear your name. You just detached. You just healed. You just upgraded. And that is what destroyed them. They expected a fight. You gave them stillness. They expected chaos. You gave them peace. They expected you to chase. You walked away instead. They didn't know what to do with that. They still don't. Chosen one, understand this. Their obsession had nothing to do with you being weak. It had everything to do with you being powerful. Even when you felt broken, they could see your potential glowing through the cracks. That's why they tried to hit you early. That ex who tried to belittle your achievements saw your future. That fake friend who mocked your dreams knew you were going somewhere. That jealous co-worker who pretended to be helping knew you were rising. These people weren't blind. They were threatened. They kept studying you like a puzzle they couldn't solve. They copied your style, your ideas, your personality, your way of living. They tried to become you while trying to destroy you. And what kind of person tries to be like someone they claim to hate? A person who can't handle their own reflection. And now, look at them. Their life is in pieces, not because you wished anything bad on them, but because the universe is simply returning what they put out. They pumped negativity into your life for free. Now they're paying the bill. They played with your name, and now their own reputation is melting. They tried to make you the problem, and now they've become the warning sign. They can't sleep because they see you everywhere. Your glow, your progress, your strength, your peace. You're the reminder of the battle they started but couldn't win. You're the memory that keeps stabbing them every time they pretend they're fine. Their mind is their punishment. Their regret is their karma. Their guilt is their prison. They obsessed over you so much that they forgot to protect their own life. Now every area of their world is collapsing. Friendships ruined, relationships strained, opportunities slipping, peace gone. Because life will always crumble the house of someone who tries to burn down someone else's. And chosen one, here's the part that hits the deepest. You didn't become strong because they hurt you. You became strong because you chose to rise anyway. Their obsession gave you clarity. Their betrayal gave you boundaries. Their rejection pushed you into a future you wouldn't have reached if they had stayed. They were the storm that forced you to build shelter. They were the fire that revealed what needed to be rebuilt. They were the pressure that forged the version of you living today. And now, you're untouchable, elevated, unbothered. Everything they tried to weaponize against you turned into strength. You walk differently. You think differently. You trust differently. You choose differently. And they can't stand it because they're the reason you leveled up. Their obsession didn't break you. It crowned you. So let them talk. Let them choke on their guilt. Let them wrestle with the consequences they signed up for. The universe already handled what you never needed to fight. Life is tearing them up because messing with a chosen one is a battle they'll never win. They should have left you alone. They should have healed themselves instead of hating you. They should have minded their own path instead of stalking yours. But they didn't, and that's why they're falling apart now. Number 2, the universal rule they thought didn't apply to them. The same energy they used to break you is now breaking them open. That line slices straight into the heart of the enemy because it exposes the truth they ran from. The universe remembers everything. They thought they were special, untouchable, exempt from consequences. But the universe doesn't run on ego, it runs on energy. And now that energy is tearing their life apart piece by piece because they forgot the one rule no one outruns: what you give comes back. You can't throw poison and expect clean water to return. They tried anyway. They whispered curses behind your back, smiling like they were safe. They lied on your name as if the universe wasn't listening. They mocked your pain like it was a joke meant for entertainment. But the joke flipped. And now the universe is tearing them up in a language only they understand. Imagine this: someone tossing a boomerang with full force, laughing as it spins away. But they forget what a boomerang does. It returns, and it returns harder. That's exactly what's happening to them. Every rumor they started is spinning back. Every intention they sent out is circling around. Every hateful word is returning with more weight than it had when they threw it. And chosen one, maybe you've wondered, why is life hitting them so hard now? Why all at once? The answer is simple. The universe gives time. It gives them space to stop, reflect, correct, apologize, shift, or grow. But when someone keeps choosing cruelty over compassion, ego over truth, and manipulation over honesty, the universe stops waiting. It steps in. It balances the scale. And the moment the universe moves, nothing can protect them. They forgot that energy is a mirror. Whatever you show the universe eventually shows you back. And now that mirror is right in front of their face, and they can't look away. They're being forced to see what they've done, who they've become, and how far they've fallen from the person they pretended to be. Imagine this: someone digging a pit with your name on it, excited to watch you fall, but they get so wrapped up in the digging, so obsessed with burying you, that they never realize they're standing inside the hole themselves. And when life shakes the ground, they're the one who drops, not you. That's what's happening. They're falling into traps they set with their own jealousy. They're drowning in storms created with their own hands. They're getting hit with consequences they swore they were too smart to face. And chosen one, here's another question that may sit in your mind. Did I cause this? Did my healing do this to them? No. You didn't do anything. You didn't cast anything. You didn't wish anything. You didn't fight dirty or attack back. You simply survived. You healed. You stepped back. You grew. And because your energy stayed clean, the universe handled the dirty work for you. When you stay neutral, the universe becomes your bodyguard. They confused your silence for weakness. They thought your peace meant they won. They thought life would just forget what they did. But the universe sees in patterns, not emotions. It counts actions, not excuses. They planted betrayal, they planted envy, they planted chaos, and they thought peace would grow out of that. They thought their darkness could somehow produce their own light. That's not how universal law works. They mocked your struggle like it was a game. They laughed at your pain like it made them powerful. But now they're waking up with panic in their chest. They're losing sleep, losing peace, losing control. They're afraid of the same darkness they created because it knows its way back home. Imagine this: someone releasing a wild animal into your yard to scare you. But after they walk away, the animal follows them instead because it recognizes the scent of the one who set it free. That's karma. That's energy. That's the universe reclaiming balance. They thought consequences delayed meant consequences denied. They were wrong. The universe does not rush. It waits for the exact moment when the truth will hit hardest. It waits until the mask cracks, until the ego is fragile, until their life is built on lies so thin a whisper of reality shatters it. And now they're sitting in the exact chaos they created, wondering why life suddenly feels so heavy, so hostile, so out of control. They're not cursed. They're confronted. They're not unlucky. They're exposed. The universe is not punishing them. It's simply returning their mail. Everything they sent to you is on their doorstep. Everything they hoped would break you is breaking them. Everything they tried to ruin in you is falling apart inside them. Their guilt is eating them alive, because guilt is what grows in the absence of integrity. Their shame is crushing them, because shame is what forms when you live far from truth. Their fear is spiraling, because fear is what happens when you realize the universe saw everything you thought was hidden. They expected you to drown. Instead, they're the ones gasping for air. They expected you to fall apart. Instead, life is tearing their life apart in ways they can't hide anymore. And chosen one, you don't have to feel bad for them. You don't have to pity them. You don't have to explain or fix anything. This isn't cruelty. This isn't revenge. This is universal law, neutral, precise, unavoidable. The universe doesn't care about their excuses. It cares about balance. Imagine this: someone writing false stories about you, thinking the world will believe them forever, but the ink they used stains their own hands, not yours. When the truth comes out, they're the one everyone sees, covered in evidence. That's what's happening now. Their lies are exposing them. Their whispers are haunting them. Their actions are defining them. And here's the hit they never saw coming. The get-back doesn't come from you. It comes through their own choices. Their downfall is self-made. Their suffering is self-created. Their chaos is self-inflicted. They're not victims of life. They're victims of their own energy. You held your energy clean even when you were hurting. You protected your spirit even when they attacked yours. You stayed real even when they were fake. That is why the universe is handling everything. You honored the universal law, and now the universal law is honoring you. Your elevation is not karma. Your peace is not punishment. Your glow is not revenge. It's alignment. You stayed aligned with truth, so life aligned with you. That's why doors are opening. That's why clarity is coming. That's why you're stepping into a version of yourself you didn't even know existed yet. They, on the other hand, are facing everything they tried to avoid. They're experiencing the weight of their choices. They're paying the price for their own energy, and the universe is not done showing them the mirror. You don't need to lift a finger. The universe already wrote the ending. Let them sit in the storm they created. Let them learn the lessons they tried to skip. Let them taste the energy they served you. You're not responsible for their downfall. You're responsible for your rise. And you're rising in ways that terrify them because they can't stop it, control it, or slow it down. They forgot the universal rule. They forgot energy never loses your address. They forgot your name stays protected. They forgot that messing with a chosen one always comes back harder. They forgot. The universe didn't. Number 3, the lover who was really a loaded trap. Some people don't betray you because you failed them. They betray you because your glow made their shadow impossible to hide. That's the punch they deserve, because the truth is, they were never confused about who you were. They were confused about why someone like you even noticed them. They weren't a lover. They weren't a friend. They were a silent enemy wearing a soft face, hoping you'd mistake envy for affection. Imagine this, a person standing next to a lamp, pretending they're shining too, but when you step away, their whole world goes dark. That's what happened. They were stealing your light without admitting it. They loved the way you loved them, not who you were. They soaked up your energy like a sponge, but the second you needed them, they dried up. That should tell you everything. And chosen one, maybe you've wondered, why did they switch up on me? Why did they act like I was the problem? Because your existence exposed their weakness. Your calm exposed their chaos. Your effort exposed their laziness. They couldn't handle someone who naturally had what they were pretending to have. Imagine a mirror that doesn't lie. That's what you were to them. Every time they looked at you, they saw everything they avoided in themselves. And instead of growing, they blamed you for making them feel small. Now here's the turn they never saw coming. The light they mocked is burning their eyes. The grace they tried to copy is suffocating them. The glow they tried to dim is the same glow showing the world what they truly were. When you walked away, their illusion collapsed. They weren't your partner. They weren't your friend. They were karma dressed up like love, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. You were the stable piece holding their life together, and now that you're gone, everything they built on lies is falling apart. Life is tearing them up because the universe removed its shield. They weren't your match. They were your lesson, and your absence is their punishment. Number 4, the get back that didn't make a sound. Nothing destroys an enemy faster than realizing your silence did what their attacks never could. They were ready for drama. They were ready for a fight. They were ready to see you break so they could finally feel powerful. But instead of giving them a battlefield, you gave them nothing. No reaction, no meltdown, no public display, just silence. And nothing in this universe hits harder than silence from someone they tried to destroy. Imagine this. They came to your door with weapons, only to find the house empty because you outgrew the entire neighborhood. They swung at air. They plotted against a version of you that no longer existed. And every time they tried to get a reaction, the universe handed them their own energy back on a plate. Your healing was their downfall. While you put yourself back together, they fell apart. You grew quietly. They cracked loudly. You learned peace. They learned consequences. And chosen one, I know you've asked yourself, why did my silence shake them more than anything I ever said? Because silence reveals truth. Your silence forced them to face their own behavior with no distraction, no argument to blame, no chaos to hide behind, just themselves and the mess they made. Imagine a stage light clicking on in a dark room. Suddenly, every flaw, every lie, every mask is exposed. That's what your detachment did. It was the spiritual get-back they never prepared for. Their blessings dried up because their energy did. Their sleep vanished because guilt doesn't clock out. Their fake persona fell apart because masks melt under pressure. They wanted you to collapse, but they're the ones trembling now. You didn't win because you fought. You won because you evolved. Walking away was your power move. Letting go was your upgrade. Your peace wasn't something you chased around like a lost pet. You became peace. You embodied it, and the universe matched your frequency. Life is tearing them up because they finally understand the truth. They didn't lose the battle. They lost you. Number 5. When their prayers for your downfall backfired in their face. The moment they wished for your collapse, they signed the eviction notice for their own peace. That's the hit they earned, because some people didn't just dislike you. They wanted you gone. They wanted your life shattered, your mind broken, your glow dimmed until you disappeared. They wanted the universe to take everything from you, forgetting one brutal truth. You can't bury someone who was built to rise. These weren't passive wishes. They were active hopes for your failure, and chosen one, you felt it. The heaviness on your chest wasn't weakness. It was the weight of someone else's darkness trying to stick to you. That fatigue out of nowhere, the random anxiety, the sudden self-doubt, that wasn't you. That was the energy they sent, hoping you'd fold under pressure. Imagine this, someone pushing a boulder down a hill toward you. But the universe flips the hill, and suddenly they're the one running from the same boulder they released. That's why they're paranoid now, jumping at shadows, terrified of karma they swore wasn't real. They dug a grave with your name on it, but they were sloppy. They dug too fast, too deep, too carelessly. And when life shifted, they didn't realize they were standing in the hole themselves. Now that pit is their home, not yours. They sleep in the darkness they prepared for you. You didn't survive because they gave mercy. You survived because the universe rejected their request. You healed. You rose. You rebuilt your life with steady hands and a peaceful heart. Meanwhile, every curse they whispered boomeranged back with teeth. Their health, their relationships, their stability, everything is shaking, because that's what happens when you root for someone else's collapse. And maybe you've asked yourself, why do they look so drained now? Why do they avoid your eyes? Because they see the truth. You lived, you grew, you became stronger than the version they tried to bury. You walk in peace because you earned it. They walk in torment because they created it. Number 6. The downfall they blamed on bad luck but caused with their own hands. What they call misfortune is just their own behavior coming back with receipts. That line slices straight into the truth they keep dodging. They swear life suddenly turned on them. They swear everything fell apart out of nowhere. But you and the universe know better. This isn't bad luck. This is self-destruction dressed up as innocence. Every lie they told added one more brick to the weight, now crushing them. Every betrayal they committed dug one more crack into the foundation they thought would never break. And now everything is collapsing at the same time. Money slipping through their fingers, friends disappearing like smoke, peace evaporating like it never existed. They're calling it a curse, but it's consequence wearing their name. They weren't punished, you just stopped protecting them. That's the plot twist that burns them the most. While you were connected to them, your light shielded them. Your energy softened the fallout of their actions. Your presence held their life together more than they will ever admit. But when they disrespected you, that protection vanished. They didn't lose blessings. They lost you. Imagine this. Someone standing under an umbrella during a storm, bragging about how dry and comfortable they are, not realizing it's your umbrella keeping them safe. Then one day, they slap your hand and the umbrella closes. Suddenly, they're drenched, freezing and furious at the sky, never realizing their behavior removed the very protection they depended on. They bragged about your downfall before the game even started. They laughed too early. They celebrated too soon. They thought the universe would co-sign their cruelty. But now they're watching door after door slam shut because the universe remembers what they forget. Energy is law, not opinion. And maybe you've wondered, why are they spiraling now? Why so suddenly? Because they cut the lifeline that was keeping them afloat. They weren't cursed, they were covered by you. And once they dishonored that cover, the universe simply stepped aside and let their own actions finish the job. Number 7. The breakdown their ego can't hide anymore. The real punishment isn't losing you, it's being stuck alone with the truth you exposed. That's the hit they earned, because their biggest threat was never your comeback. It was their own reflection. They spent so long projecting, lying, twisting and blaming that they forgot lies don't disappear. They echo. And now those echoes bounce around in their mind all day, all night, reminding them of everything they pretended not to be. They thought they were the mastermind, running the show, controlling the narrative, but the mind games they played became the trap they fell into. Every false story they told reruns in their head, like a glitching movie they can't turn off. Every insult they threw boomerangs back as self-doubt. Every manipulation they used now manipulates their own peace. They can't fake it anymore. Not to themselves, not to anyone paying attention. Imagine this, a person building a maze for you to get lost in, but when you walk away, they're the one wandering inside it with no exit. That's exactly what's happening. Their silence wasn't strength, it was strategy. But the silence they gave you? That silence is now their sentence. It's the empty room where their guilt gets louder, heavier, sharper. And chosen one, maybe you've wondered, why does their collapse look so private? Why don't people see their downfall? Because mental breakdowns are quiet. They happen behind smiles, behind filtered photos, behind loud laughs that don't reach the eyes. They look stable online and shattered offline. They celebrate publicly but cry silently. They post confidence but live in panic. They're haunted by a version of you they can never access again. That's the part tearing them up. You forgave them. You let go. And that forgiveness cut deeper than revenge ever could. Forgiveness removed the victim story they needed to survive. Now they can't blame you. They can't twist the narrative. They can't hide behind lies. They're collapsing mentally while you're rising naturally. Their private hell is the price of trying to break someone the universe refused to let fall. They're breaking in the dark while you rise in the light. Number 8. You were the chance they weren't ready for. Some people don't lose you. They lose the last lifeline the universe ever gave them. That's the truth slicing through their ego right now. You weren't some random chapter in their messy story. You were the test that showed the universe exactly who they were when given a real blessing. You showed up with patience, loyalty, clarity, and a heart more honest than anything they had ever handled. You gave them room to grow, room to change, room to choose better. And they wasted it. They didn't fail you, they failed themselves. They didn't cross you, they crossed universal boundaries they didn't understand. And the universe doesn't repeat warnings. Imagine this, a person standing at a crossroads with a bright road and a dark road. You were the bright road, the safe one, the healing one, but they chose the dark one because it felt familiar. Then, when the darkness swallowed them, they blamed the universe, never realizing they walked away from their own rescue. You weren't their downfall, you were their exit door. You were the one chance to break cycles they'd been trapped in for years. The one chance to stop lying, stop manipulating, stop hiding behind their old identity. They could have become someone better beside you. They could have grown. They could have evolved. Instead, they mocked your kindness. They treated your patience like weakness. They played with a blessing until that blessing walked away. And chosen one, maybe you've asked yourself, did they ever value me? Did they ever understand who I was to them? They understood enough to fear losing you. They just didn't expect their actions to actually cost them anything. Now the silence they feel isn't random, it's exile. It's the universe stepping back and saying, you had your chance. It's the universe pulling you out of their story because they proved they couldn't handle your presence. They weren't punished, they were removed. Imagine this, the universe closing a door so loudly it echoes through their whole life. That's why everything feels empty for them now. That's why nothing hits the same. That's why everyone they meet feels lesser. Because after losing you, everything feels lesser. You weren't the test they passed. You were the test that exposed them. Number 9, don't you ever run back into their fire. If you keep saving people from the storms they created, you become the umbrella they punch holes in. They don't miss you. They miss the protection your presence gave them. They miss the strength they borrowed from your energy. They miss the peace they never had until you arrived. But missing the benefit is not the same as valuing the source. And now that life is tearing them up, they'll crawl back acting humble, acting hurt, acting changed. But don't get it twisted. This isn't healing. This is survival mode disguised as love. They didn't appreciate your help when they had it, so now they're trying to pull you back into the chaos they created. You were the healer. You were the clarity. You were the quiet voice that told them to do better. And what did they do? They ignored you, mocked you, used you, took advantage until the universe snatched you out of their hands. You cannot fix a person who is committed to breaking themselves. They aren't coming back for closure. They're coming back because life is dragging them by the throat. Their peace is gone, their confidence cracked, their fake identity melting under pressure. They want you now because they think you'll soften the consequences that are finally catching up to them. Imagine this. Someone sets their house on fire, and when the flames get too high, they call you to stand inside it with them. That's what getting back with them would be, walking straight into destruction that isn't yours. Chosen one, maybe you wonder, what if they've changed? What if they're sorry now? Here's the truth. Regret isn't transformation. Pain isn't growth. And apologies mean nothing if the only reason they're crying is because life punched back. Their suffering is their harvest. Do not interfere. If you jump in, you take on consequences that were never meant for you. That's how chosen ones lose themselves, by trying to save people who were sent to test them, not stay with them. You're not their savior. You were the final mirror showing them who they really are. Let them face it. Let them burn in the fire they lit. You already escaped it. Number 10. They crossed the line. No one comes back from. When someone drags innocence into a fight they started, the universe stops watching and starts reacting. This is where their downfall turns from personal to catastrophic. It's one thing to attack you. It's another thing to reach for people who couldn't defend themselves. That's the moment the universe drew the line in fire. Some of them didn't just betray you, they tried to stain anything connected to you. They brought children, innocence, and purity into a darkness they created. That isn't petty. That's the lowest blow a person can throw. Imagine this. Someone throwing paint at a masterpiece because they're jealous they can't create one. That's what they did. They couldn't touch your strength, so they targeted what was easy, what was unprotected, what was pure. They weaponized innocence because they thought the universe wouldn't respond as long as they kept their hands looking clean. The moment they targeted what was harmless, they activated a consequence that doesn't expire. Their actions didn't just rebound, they echoed, not lightly, not softly, but violently, through everything they touch. You might wonder, why does their life look so blocked now? Why does nothing work for them anymore? Because the universe doesn't negotiate when innocence is harmed. That is the one arena where karma becomes immediate, generational, and ruthless. Imagine a tree that someone poisons at the roots. The leaves die, the branches dry up, and eventually the whole line collapses. That's what they triggered. They didn't just hurt you, they damaged their own lineage. The flow that once supported them is frozen. Opportunities vanish. Blessings shrink. Their future looks like a hallway with no doors because they sealed every exit themselves. They didn't just cross a boundary, they detonated their own future. They cursed potential. They poisoned what was untouched. They dragged the innocent into a war no one invited them to, and the universe responded with the only language it uses for this level of darkness, consequences that echo far beyond the moment. They didn't doom you, they doomed themselves. Number 11. Your tears became power, their silence became punishment. Every tear you cried watered a future they were never meant to walk into. They thought your pain was entertainment. They thought your heartbreak made them stronger. They thought watching you break somehow raised their value. What they never expected was that the same tears they mocked became the currency the universe used to repay you and to charge them. They didn't understand the cost of hurting someone who feels deeply. They didn't understand that your tears weren't signs of weakness. They were signals. Every tear you shed recorded their actions. Every silent cry marked another line in the universe's ledger. And now the bill has landed in their life, and it's a price they can't afford. The silence you healed in is the silence that's destroying them. While you cried quietly, you were rebuilding. While you sat in the dark, you were growing roots. While they laughed, you transformed. They didn't notice the shift because healing doesn't make noise, but destruction does. Now look at them, trapped in silence so heavy it feels like a cage. They can't escape their own mind. They can't run from the memories of how they treated you. Every lie loops. Every smirk replays. Every moment they dismissed your pain now punches them in the chest when they try to sleep. Imagine this, someone muting you so they don't have to hear your truth, only for the universe to mute them when they finally need support. No joy, no peace, no rest, just the echo of their own choices bouncing off empty walls. And chosen one, maybe you've wondered, why silence? Why not something louder, harsher? Because silence is the one punishment pride can't survive. Silence forces truth to surface. Silence forces guilt to grow. Silence forces accountability. You built power in your quiet. They're decaying in theirs. Your isolation became your strength. Their isolation is becoming their breakdown. You rose from the silence. They're sinking into it. Your tears ended. Their consequences didn't. Number 12. Step back and let the universe deliver the final blow. Your silence wasn't surrender. It was the signal that the universe could take over. They thought you walked away because you were weak, because you were scared, because you had nothing left to say. But chosen one, the truth is colder. You walked away because you were done carrying the weight of someone who refused to evolve. You healed, you faced your wounds, you rebuilt your spirit, and the moment you stepped back, the universe stepped forward. They don't deserve your closure. They don't deserve your explanations. They don't deserve a single drop of the energy they wasted. They had full access to you, your kindness, your honesty, your loyalty, and they fumbled it like it meant nothing. Now the universe is about to show them what nothing really feels like. The same lesson they ignored is now the teacher they can't escape. They mocked your love. They twisted your intentions. They called you dramatic, emotional, sensitive, too much. But now, life is giving them a mirror with no cracks to hide behind. That mirror reflects every lie they told, every disrespect they shrugged off, every warning they ignored. This isn't revenge, it's alignment. Imagine this. Someone unplugging themselves from the only source of light they ever had, then panicking when the room goes dark. That's them. You weren't the villain of their story. You were the voltage. You were the clarity. You were the one thing keeping their world from crashing earlier. And now that you're gone, everything they mocked is the very thing teaching them the hardest lessons. Maybe you've wondered, do I need to explain myself? Do I need to forgive them to move on? No, you already moved on the moment you chose yourself. Let the universe finish what it started. Your absence is the karma. Your silence is louder than any closure. Your growth is the consequence they never calculated. Your peace is the punishment they never saw coming. You were the test. You were the truth. You were the lesson. And now, you are the downfall they can't outrun. So, chosen one, your rise wasn't an accident. It was the universe proving that no attack, no betrayal, and no enemy could break what was built to outlast them all. Let life keep exposing what you no longer need. Let the universe keep handling what your energy has outgrown. And if this message hit you the way truth always does, press the like button if you haven't already. And if you're still not part of our family, make sure to subscribe. Your presence fuels this mission, and your glow is only getting started.